Xin chào, em tên là Vũ Anh. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I work with the Asian American Advocacy Fund. As an immigrant with parents and grandparents who suffered through many hardships due to the Vietnam War, I grew up surrounded by a sense that we should be grateful just to be in this country, to not ask questions, to be model minority citizens. But that's not only not enough, it's harmful to our community. Vietnamese Americans must leave the sidelines. We must take up space in the arena of politics. We have to educate ourselves and dispel rampant misinformation. We must take responsibility for our collective community and our country. And we can do this by voting progressively and making our voices heard in the upcoming election. Vũ Anh tin rằng cộng đồng người Mỹ gốc Việt của chúng ta có thể trở thành một lực lượng mạnh mẽ cho một tương lai tốt đẹp và công bằng hơn.
Hi, my name is Angie. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'll be working for Asian American Advocacy Fund. I'm super excited to learn how to mobilize, support, and empower our Vietnamese Americans here in Georgia and elsewhere.
Hello everyone, my name is Lillian Chen and I'm coming to you live from Austin, Texas. I'm going to be working with OCA Greater Houston and Pivot to help you get out to vote. What I want to get out of this elected work is I want to impress upon the people who are going to the polls this year how important it is to hold elected officials accountable for their actions in office. I think that they should be accountable to their constituents and not to the people lining their pockets. So help me show elected officials why it's so important to be accountable to their communities and show up to the polls this year.
Hello, xin chào mọi người, em tên là Oanh, and I am a Pivot Fellow. I'm currently working at CPAC's Center for Pan-Asian Community Services, based here in Atlanta, Georgia. I work closely with G. Victoria here at CPAC's, and we specifically target the Vietnamese community in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as other surrounding cities. We provide services such as helping with registering to vote, the Census 2020, and among other services for our Vietnamese community. I'm personally learning so much with this work and I'm so thankful to be helping our Vietnamese community. Nếu mà bạn cần thêm thông tin hoặc là cần giúp về vấn đề gì, xin vui lòng liên hệ với Pivot và Pivot sẽ cố gắng giúp cho bạn.
Hello, my name is MINH-TRIET. I'm 19 years old and I am the Pivot Fellow for North Carolina. I'm currently a student at NC State University and I use she, her, hers pronouns. I decided to join Pivot specifically because I want to dump Trump, and I also want to eliminate the misinformation that's going on around this campaign and the general elections. Finally, I want to bring more voter engagement for Vietnamese Americans, and I hope that through Pivot, I will be able to accomplish these goals by November.
Vâng, từ tiểu bang Texas, Trần Vĩnh xin hân hạnh gửi lời chào đến tất cả quý vị và các bạn thân thương đang theo dõi chương trình Launch into Action của Pivot ngày hôm nay. Trần Vĩnh rất vui được làm việc chung với Vote People SOS tại Houston để trợ giúp cho kỳ bầu cử và cử tri ở hạt Harris. Sau cuộc bầu cử này, Trần Vĩnh hy vọng nước Mỹ sẽ là một nước tốt đẹp hơn cho mọi người, cho cả những người da đen, những người đồng tính hay chuyển đổi giới tính và những người nhập cư giống như những người Việt Nam nhập cư của hơn 40 năm về trước. Và cho bất kỳ ai bị quên lãng bởi hệ thống chính quyền chưa hoàn chỉnh hay là bị đàn áp. Xin cảm ơn quý vị rất nhiều.
Hello, I'm Caroline Gao and I am from Houston, Texas. And I love movies, books, pasta, ramen, fan fiction, and Star Wars, and theater. So I started doing election work because in 2016, I got voter suppressed, my provisional ballot was rejected, and I want to make sure that didn't happen to anyone else. So I joined Pivot and the OCA Greater Houston in order to get out the vote and also fight voter suppression and just make civic engagement more accessible to Asian Americans in Texas. Thank you. Proud to work with you.
Hi, my name is TRAN and I'm from the swing state of Arizona. I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona my entire life and I'm still here. I'm currently a senior at Arizona State University, majoring in criminology and criminal justice with a minor in psychology. I'm currently a fellow under Pivot and I'm working alongside Jennifer Chow for MINH-TRIET for equity. What I want to get out of this election work is that I want to be the change that I've always wanted to see in the world. As an Asian American and Vietnamese American specifically growing up, we have always been stuffed into the model minority, expected to keep our head down, keep our voices quiet, and kind of just go with the flow. However, as I grew up, my personality, I like to call it being loud and rather outgoing and very outspoken about things that I care about. I didn't fall into that. And I was getting tired of watching, Asian Americans kind of sit back and waiting for other people to create the change that they always talk about. And I was like, why don't I just get up and do it myself, So I want to be able to increase the voter turnout rate for Asian Americans and Vietnamese Americans more likely, just because since we are the fastest growing population in the United States, but we have the lowest voter turnout rate, I feel like there's an issue in that. And although voting does not solve every single problem that we have in the world, I believe it is one step in helping American society strive to be the best that it can be. And yeah, so I can't wait to see what this fellowship has for me, and I can't wait to maybe make a little bit of a difference in Arizona at the very least, especially because we are a swing state. Thank you.
Xin chào mọi người, my name is Ngân and I am a Pivot Fellow for 2020. I'm currently in Pennsylvania right now and I'm working for APIPA as their operations and communication interns. What I want to get out of this election work is to push the Vietnamese community more progressively, especially during this pandemic. Healthcare access is one of the main issues that our community is facing. In order for us to have access to healthcare, this election is very, very important. So everyone, please get out the word and go vote.
Hi, my name is MINH-TRIET and I'm going to share a quick little story about my family. After the war in Vietnam, my dad was sent to a re-education camp for 7 years. He met my mom when we were both teaching at the same high school in the 80s. Because of his time in a re-education camp, my family was sponsored to Southern California. My dad right now is in his 80s and my mom is in her 70s. My older brother, who's 35 right now, suffers from a mental and physical disability. So although I am the youngest, I take on majority of the responsibilities at home. My older sister lives in Arizona with her husband. Section 8 housing and Social Security has helped my family for the past 26 years. These benefits were just enough to survive, but to gain housing security, we actually had to move away from California, as it's no longer affordable for folks like me who work in nonprofit or public education. This led us to buying our very first house in Arizona. And as my parents are getting older, and I cannot take care of them and my older brother by myself on a non-profit salary living in Los Angeles. Although we're moving to Arizona and taking a step forward in achieving our dreams, we still rely on government that provides for all its citizens. I believe I'm part of the wave of immigrants that contribute to diversifying previously red states and to help make it blue. Thank you.
Oh hey, my name is Vin Dang. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm a first-generation Vietnamese American, and I'm a part of the 2020 fellowship program with the Progressive Vietnamese American Organization. Today we're doing a little bit of canvassing to get Vietnamese Americans and other Asian Americans to support progressive Democrats like Joe Biden. So we'll see how it goes. Come on. Hi there, my name is Vin. I'm a fellow with the Progressive Vietnamese American Organization. We're just talking to folks to see if they've registered to vote. Have you? Awesome, I'm glad to hear it. You know, it's super important for folks in the Vietnamese American community to support progressive Democrats like Joe Biden.
But it's much more than that. As a child of refugees who fled Vietnam by boat, left behind everything that they knew, and came to a country they knew little about, I knew it was my civic duty to get more politically involved, especially with progressive work. When it comes to healthcare, immigration rights, and supporting disenfranchised communities, progressive policies can help pave the way forward for our communities. I'm voting this year and working to uplift and educate communities in Pennsylvania so that we can address health disparities, protect immigrants and asylum seekers from deportation, mobilize our communities to recognize anti-Blackness, and ensure that Vietnamese American communities are more aware of the effects of climate change. But none of this is going to happen if Trump is re-elected. So please join not only me, but the many other progressive Vietnamese Americans and other Asian Americans across the country to support Joe Biden's upcoming election.
I personally know that if there's a lot of Vietnamese American engagement in voting this year, I'll be saying, dang, I'm proud of my community.
An old folk song.